Hey everyone, welcome to Shah Bytes. In this video, we are building TinyLink. TinyLink is a URL shortener system. The idea is simple. Users enter a long URL and our system generates a short link. It stores the mapping and redirects users to the original URL whenever the short link is opened. In this project, we also support custom aliases, link expiration, click tracking, and Redis caching, and rate limiting. If this video helps you, please like the video, subscribe to Shah Bytes, and follow along for more programming and development tutorials. Now, before coding, let's understand what we are building and why this problem matters. We are building a URL shortener application. It can take a long URL and generate a short, easy to share link. When someone opens the short link, the system redirects them to the original long URL. The application stores the mapping between the short code and the original URL. Why do we need this? Because they can be messy and hard to remember. The long URLs sometimes too long for message, posts, and or printed material. A URL shortener solves this by creating a compact link that points to the original URL. But this problem is not only about making links shorter. The system must generate unique shortcodes, redirect users quickly, prevent duplicate aliases, track link usage, and handle expired links correctly. In our project, Redis helps cache shortcode lookups, so repeated redirects can be resolved faster. We are using Redis because Redis is fast, and Redis uses a RAM to save our data. So we don't need to query our DB for the data, and that makes it fast. And now let's look at the real world examples. Bitly uses it, and Twitter uses it, and other documentation and blog links. For the front end, we will be using Angular and TypeScript. The front end allows the user to enter a long URL and optionally enter a custom alias and expiry time, and then it will just submit the request, and then it will go to our backend. We'll be using Java 17 and Spring Boot, which is used to expose the APIs. Redis is used for shortcode caching and rate limit state. And then we will be using Docker Compose to run all of this together. Uh, Now let's look at the complete link lifecycle. The user enters the URL, it enters the custom alias and then sets the expiry date and time. Then the frontend will send a request to /API/shorten, and then it will be mapped in our backend. Backend will extract the client API from the request, and then it will check the rate limit for that IP. Backend will validate if the URL starts with HTTP or HTTPS using regex, and then if the alias is not provided by the user as it's optional, it will generate a short code, and it will save the mapping inside the database. In this application, we will not be using database, so we will be just be using a Java collection like a map, and we will be caching our URL in Redis. Then after doing that, the backend will just return with a short URL so user can use that. Then the user will open that short URL, and the backend will check Redis first and see if there's a cache hit. Okay, if there is, then it just returns and redirects to that URL. If there is no hit, then it will go to the in memory, which is also database. Then it will check if the link is there. If not, then it will say 404 not found, and after that it will check if the link is expired or not. Okay, if it is not expired, then it will just return the 302 for found and for the redirect, and it will redirect to the original URL. Now let's start coding. Let's just open the browser first. Uh, Hope you have installed Java and Angular. If you haven't, I have already created videos on that. You can check the cards below. Now, let's go to start.spring.io like this. And we'll be using Java here, and the project will be Maven project, and Spring Boot version we have is 4.1.0. So group will be sha bytes like this. Let's name the artifact as tiny link. We are using Java 17 and configuration as YAML. Let's add some dependencies. First, we are going to add Spring Web dependency, which will give us RESTful applications and also embedded Tomcat server. And then we are going to use Lombok, which is used to remove a boilerplate code. So we focus on our business logic. We also need Redis, so let's add that Spring Data Redis, this one, Access Plus driver. And we'll be using validation to validate the data that is coming from the client. Yeah, apart from this, we'll be using dev tools, so we don't have to restart our server all the time whenever we want to do some change. Correct. I think we are fine, and we should just generate the project. Click on this generate. Let me save it in desktop. Save. I'm opening this. Right click on this. Extract all. Yeah. Now inside this, yeah. Let me just do it here. I will open the folder as IntelliJ IDEA project. Okay, wait for it to start. It's looking for the backend project and it found one inside this tiny link. So let's just load that. Now it will try to download the dependencies, and you can see the dependencies here from our pom.xml in here. Okay, let me just rename this project to backend, because we will be having front end here too later. So refactoring it to backend like this. Yeah, and we are done. Let's just create some package that we're going to use in here uh, in this tiny link. Let's create a package. Let's name it as config. We'll also be having controllers. We'll be having DTOs, and we'll be having models and services. Nice. We also have application YAML here, which has the properties of our application. So let's add some CORS configuration first, because our front end will be an Angular application, and it will run on 4200. So we need that configuration so we don't have the cross origin issue. because we need to allow our front end uh, to use our API. So we'll create a new Java class in our config. We'll name it as web config like this. We need to add configuration uh, annotation, so Spring knows that it has the beans, and we will just implement a WebMVC configurer like this. We will be overriding the method there. So override public void like this, add course mapping. Correct. We'll be using course registry. It's actually cross mappings with S. Okay, like this. Then we'll just add registry dot add mapping. Okay, it will be slash API slash star star like this, and then allowed origins will be our HTTP slash slash localhost and then 4200 like this. Let's also add one more because we'll be using that later through our Docker. So let's do localhost 8082 like this. Let's also add some allowed methods that the client can use. Client can use get, can use post, can use delete, and can use options. And headers, client can use anything. So star. Okay, so course configuration is in place. Now we also need a Redis configuration, but before that we need to run a Redis locally. To do that, we should have a Docker installed. So please check if you have it installed. Docker desktop. Open this. Yeah, I have it opened here. So what we will do, we will open the terminal and we will run docker run like this -d in detached mode. Let's put the name as Redis like this, and the port forwarding 6379 for our local and 6379 because it will be running in the Docker container on 6379 like this. Now the image name should be Redis 7 hyphen alpine like this. So for you it will after hitting enter it will pull the image, and then it should show this container ID. If we at the end it shows this ID, then Redis is running. You can verify that by containers here and see Redis is working. So with Redis up, let's connect it with our YAML. So let's go to YAML. In here, we'll just do like, in here we can say like data and then Redis, and then we can use host will be local host, right? And we have port which will be 6379. We should have timeout like timeout for around 2 seconds, and then let's use some polling. So let us poll. Let's keep the connections active as max active connections to be 8, which is the default, and then max idle connections to be 8, again the default, and minimum idle to be 0, again the default. So at the top, let's also mention the server port that we are going to use. So it will be 8080. Fine. Let me just check what are the settings for this project because I need formatting. Save. what was it? It was save something. Yeah, reformat code like this. Apply. Okay. These were my ID settings. And now we should also have more settings as we have added for the Redis. First, let's add our logging. So logging level should be like for our com.sharbytes.tinylink, it should be debug. And then for the Redis, it should also be debug. Okay. So Spring Framework dot data dot Redis should also be debug like this, and the pattern of the logging should be like console. In the console, it should be like percentile D, and then a year dd like this, the hour format, minutes, seconds, and then the message like this. Okay, so logging is done. Yeah, let's add some uh, application specific configuration. So our application name tiny link like this. Let's get the base URL, which means like on which URL our backend is working, because we need it later when we are uh, sending uh, the short URL created. We need to send it back to the user, right? So the user will click on that and it will hit our backend. So we should have that detail here where our backend is. Like right now, our backend will be on localhost 8080 like this. And let's keep the short code length should be like let's keep the short code length as 6 like this. And if the user has not sent any alias, then we are going to create random short codes, and they won't be random. Sometimes maybe they will be repeated, then we are going to try again. So maximum attempts that we are going to do, we need to mention that let's give the maximum attempts to 10. Okay, now the rate limit like requests per minute should be like 2, so we test it faster. And then requests per hour, let's just keep it as 10. Okay, then one for the cache, because we are going to store our cache in the Redis. So for how long should the Redis store the cache? Let's also add that TTL minutes should be like 30 minutes. Okay, then add some cleanup. This should be used by our scheduler. So after how much time scheduler should start and clean up the expired links. Okay, so let's do like cleanup internal minutes like 5, and then how many URLs should be cleaned up at once, because if there are lots of URLs, like it will take a lot of time because a lot of queries. So we should do it in a batch. So we should do like expired URLs batch size. Let's keep that to maybe 100. Okay, so that is our configuration. For this, we are connected to the Redis. Now, Redis can easily store the string values, but when we are trying to store our Java objects, we'll be storing it in the form of JSON. So we need to have that serializer. It also happens automatically, but it's not reliable. So we'll be adding a Redis configuration for that to store our Java objects. Uh, yeah. So let's create that config Java class Redis. config like this. So at configuration, okay, now we'll be creating a bean for our Redis. Okay, so it will be like bean uh, public. Uh, we have Redis template, so it should store. There will be a key for the Redis. Key will be of type string and our object like this. Okay, so Redis template. Okay, we'll be having a connection factory, Redis connection factory like this, and we'll be using object mapper to map our objects. Okay, object mapper like this, object mapper. Fine. Now let's create this object. Redis template object equals new Redis template like this. Okay, so we have created this. Now we'll set the connection factory here. What is the issue? Like this, and then we should set the connection factory like it is template dot set connection factory to the one above like this. Now we have the connection factory which is connected with our Redis, and then uh, for our key string is fine. Okay, so let's keep it as there's a serializer for string. Okay, we'll name it as string serializer equals a new string, that is serializer like this, and there's one from uh, uh, which will create it, which will change our objects, and we can save JSON inside Redis. So generic JSON Redis serializer like this, JSON serializer equals new generic JSON serializer. We need to pass in the mapper here, object mapper. Okay, so we have the serializer. Now we will do like Redis template dot set key serializer key string. So string serializer. Same way we'll do for the hash. Set hash key serializer will be our string serializer, correct? And then we have to do for the values. Set value serializer, pass in our JSON serializer, and also for the hash value. Okay, now let's apply our change. That is template dot after property set. This will apply it, and we'll just return our Redis template. So our configuration is done like this. Okay, yeah. So we are connected with Redis. Now let's start working on our controller. So right click on the controller to Java class, and in here we'll create our first controller. I think the only controller is that we need here is URL shortener controller like this. Okay, we already have Lombok, so we can use that too. But first of all, let's just add our REST controller for the annotation to create the REST APIs, and then let's do request mapping. We'll start with /API for all the request mappings in here, and then we'll use SLF4J. Okay, we'll be using a service, so let's create that service. It will be URL shortener service like this. Let me just mark it as service, so we will be able to inject it. We should also have one for the rate limit. So rate limit service. Service like this. Now let's just inject both of them here into like private final URL shortener service. URL shortener service. We also want private final rate limit service. Rate limit service. Uh, we could add the constructor parameters for constructor injection, but we can use a loam box, so we don't need that. So required args constructor, which will do that for us. Now let's create our first API call. We'll do like post mapping slash shorten like this. So this is the first API call slash shorten. Okay, now here we'll do like public response entity. Okay, so it will be decided on the run time because we will be sending the errors to. So shorten URL like this. Okay, and we will be validating our request body. But first we need to create that DTO. So under our DTO, new Java class, shorten URL request like this. Okay, so we'll name it like at data and data to get the getter setters from Lombok, at builder to get the builder pattern to create our object, and no args constructor and also all args constructor. Let's use them. And then we will use like private. We are going to get original URL from the user, right? So original URL, and we will be getting a custom alias. So custom alias like this, and expires at, because user will give us that. So local date time expires at like this. Let's add some validation. Original URL should not be blank. Okay, rest can be empty because both of these are optional. So not blank, and if it is blank, we'll say like original URL is required like this. Yeah, and then there should be a pattern which needs to be followed. So it should be, let's use regex, and it should be like, it should start with HTTP, and should be uh, S should be optional, and then colon hyphen hyphen colon slash slash, and then anything after that. Okay, so yeah, if it's not like this, then we can say like message URL must start with HTTP or HTTPS like this. Okay, so that is for our original URL. So yeah, similarly we should have one for the response. So shorten URL response like this. So again, it will have the getter setters and the builder and no args constructor and all args constructor like this. And then we will have a short URL, and because this will be the response when we have created the short link. So if you remember, we'll have short URL, short code, original URL, created time and expiry time. We'll be giving that back to the user. So a short URL, private string, short code like this, and then the original URL like this, and then uh, let's use local date time, okay, for created at and for the expire set like this. So we are done with our URL request and URL response. So now inside our this one shorten URL, what we can do is we'll use at valid for the validation of our request body. So request body like this, and it will be shorten URL request like this. And then we also need the IP, so we will say like HTTP so let request like this, HTTP request, correct. Now let's get the IP first. So we'll do, yeah, we'll be reusing this getting the IP. So let's create a function get client IP like this. Pass in our HTTP request here like this, and then what we will do here is that first before creating the new short URL, which we should check the rate limit before creating. Okay, this will protect the application from abuse. So what we will do, like we already have rate limit service, so uh, we'll check if from the rate limit service if it's allowed or not. Okay, like this, passing our client IP like this. Yeah, something like that. So so if it's not allowed, because it's not, so we'll say like return response entity dot status. It will be HTTP status dot too many requests like this, and the body will be like, yeah, and then in the body we can create a map. Okay, yeah, then we just return it. We'll put on stuff in here, like how many time remaining for that request and when the user can hit the API again. So let's just create these functions first, then we will move on to the next one. So hover on this and create, yeah, create client IP like this, and then okay. So so the IPs can come from different places, like many proxies and load balancers give us IP in the header, sometimes in forwarded for and sometimes in a real IP. So let's check if they are present. String x forwarded for equals, let's get the IP. Okay, so it will be in the header. So header name is like this, capital X, capital F, forwarded for like this. So if this header is present, then it can have the IP. So xforward, let's check if xforward for is not equal to null like this, and xforwarded for dot not empty. Okay, so we can say like return x forwarded for dot split like this. We'll split it because it will be a string with a comma as a delimiter. So let's split it, and the first one will be the IP. That's the convention. So we will use it like this. Otherwise, there's one other way that IP can come as a real IP like this. So it can be inside our HTTP request dot get header x hyphen real hyphen IP like this. Now we will check if it exists. If x real IP is not equal to null like this, and if not x real IP dot is empty, then we'll just return x real IP. Correct. And if all of them fails to have data, then we'll just return HTTP request dot get remote address like this. So this is how we get the client IP. Now we'll work on rate limit service. So hover on this and create this method. So it should be in here. Let's use required args constructor and then SLF4j for the logging, correct? And then the Redis template, the bean that we created earlier, we can inject that here. Private final Redis template like this, and string and object like this, and we will have our Redis template like this. And then yeah, we have this, and then we'll be using in-memory database. So yeah, so all our data for the rate limit will be in memory. So but we still need to create that model. So let's create that model. Uh, it will be rate limit data like this. And then let's use data builder, no args constructor and all args constructor like this, and we'll be using, okay. Now this rate limit data, what it will contain is it should have the minute count. So minute count is like how many requests have been sent for that particular minute. Okay, so we should have that minute count like this, and similarly we should have for the hour. So we'll say like hour count, but we also need to know the time, right? From what time the minute started and from what time the from what time the hour started. So let's also add that local date time. We say like minute window start, and same goes for the hour. So we can say like hour window start. Okay, great. Then we can later check our current time with this minute window start. So so if our current time is like maybe 10, okay, we'll see the difference between the minute window start and hour. So if it's like 9:59, and we will have 10, so then we are then it's exactly 1 minute, right? So yeah, and if it's like 10 to, and this is like a minute window start is uh, like 10 midway to 10:01 like this, but with some seconds like 30 seconds like this, then we are still in that minute window, right? So yeah, and that's what this means. So if we are still in that minute window, we'll get the minute count, and we will see the the request, how many minute count is there, and we have already set it inside our application YAML, like request per minute should be 2, so not more than that. So going back in here, yeah, now inside our rate limit service, yeah, let's create this, but first let's get the properties from YAML. So private int request per minute like this, and we can do private int request per hour like this. We already have the value for these, so add value dollar like this, use our tiny, we have this, right? We already set it, and same goes for requests per hour. This will be like hour. Okay, so we are fine, we have injected this, and now inside the Redis, our object, this object that we are storing, uh, uh, it will be it will be mapped to a key, so we need to create that key first. So let's create that private static final Redis underscore key underscore prefix like this, and it should be like a rate limit and less like this, and the type should be string. I forgot that. Yeah, so yeah, it should be like this. Now we'll be checking if it's allowed or not. Okay, so yeah, let's build the Redis key for this first. So our Redis key will be, it will be like a Redis key prefix first, and then our client IP. Okay, so so it's like if our IP is 192.168.1.10 or something, right? So our Redis key will be like uh, rate limit and like this, and then 192.168.1.10 for that particular client IP. Right, this will let us fetch and update the request counter for one specific client without affecting other clients. Right, so we already have the Redis key. Let's get the current time so we can compare with the minute count, right? So we have this, we have our current time. Let's check the Redis first. If the Redis has the cache for the time, then we will get that rate limit data that we created here. If it does not have, then we will get it from our database, but we don't have the database. Like I said previously, we'll be using a collection, so let's create that collection first. So we'll be having private final, and then we'll be using concurrent hash map, so it's thread safe. So string and our rate limit data. Okay, so this will be rate limit data for that particular. Okay, so we can do like rate limit data like this equals new concurrent hash map like this. Now, okay, so this is the data. Now, what we can do here is that we have the key, we have the time, and let's try to get the data from the Redis. We do like rate limit data equals, create a method like get rate limit data from Redis, pass in our Redis key like this. Okay, so if data is not present in the Redis, what we will do? Then we'll just fetch it from the database. So that means that this request is new, right? So our database is actually this rate limit data. So what we can do is that data equals rate limit data dot compute. Let's just get the data for this client IP, and but if it's not present, that's why we have used compute if absent. We'll create like this. We'll create a new rate limit data object using our builder pattern like this, using the semicolon like this. Yeah, now I can directly use minute count. This is how we use a builder pattern to create the objects. Our count is 0, and then minute window start will be now, because we just created this, right? Minute count, minute window start should be now, and also our window start should be now, like this. So this is when the data is not present inside our Redis. So let's create this method to fetch the data from the Redis. Yeah, fine. Okay, we are using Redis template. So if Redis is not available, let's cache that. Okay, like this. We'll just return null here. If Redis is not available, then it will be null and the data will come from the database like this. We'll just log dot one, maybe we'll say like failed to get rate limit data from Redis like this. And e dot, let's also log the message. Great. Now we'll just return. We already have Redis template dot. We'll have the key value pair, so we'll be using ops for value. This is just an interface. This will return an interface on which we can call the methods to get the value. Okay, so the key we already have for the Redis key like this. This will return an object, so we need to cast it. So rate limit data like this. Fine. Now we are checking if data is null, then we'll get it from the database. Now now after this, we should also check if we are in that minute window, okay, or if we are in that hour window. Okay, so we'll do like if is within a minute window like this, passing our data and current time like this. If we are in that within minute window, else, okay, if we are not in that minute window, then we can then we can reset our minute count, right? We can say that minute count is a 0 again, and the starting of the minute window start will keep to our current time. But if we are within that minute window count, we'll get the data. Okay, we'll get the minute count and check if it is greater than the allowed request. Okay, we'll say like greater equal to request per minute like this. If it is, then we'll just warn and tell that you are not allowed. Okay, we say that minute limit exceeded for client IP like this, and we'll just return false like this. This return is important because we don't want users to bypass this. And then same goes for the hour window. Let's just copy this. Okay, so it will be like within minute, it will be like within hour window uh, like this. Let's keep it to hour. So is within our window, get hour count, request per hour limit. That, yeah, fine. We also have to create these two methods. Yeah, they are fine. Let's just finish this method first. Then yeah, and then when we are done with this, done with setting, because this is also a request that we are processing, right? So we'll say like set our minute count. Let's just increase that. Okay. Data.get minute count plus one, like this. Do it for the hour too. Okay, so hour, get hour count plus one, like this, and then we will save the data in our Redis. So next time when it's called again, this will hit, right? Because now the Redis will have the data, and the data will not come from the database, so it will be fast. So we'll save the data, name it as save Redis limit data. Oh, it's rate limit data. Save rate limit data to Redis, like this. Pass in our Redis key where we have to save it and the data, like this, and then return true, because then it will be allowed, right? Okay, let's create this method first. Save a rate limit data to Redis. So we have this. Okay, now in here we are again using Redis, so try catch. I get the exception, like this. We'll say like log dot one failed to save rate limit data to Redis, like this. E dot get message. Okay, now inside here we need to save the data. We'll be using the same Redis template ops for value, but instead of get we will be setting the value here. We're setting the value, passing our Redis key and the yeah, and the data that is coming. Yeah, but we also need to set it for 1 hour. Okay, so the rate limit data will be set for 1 hour. We need to tell it like it's hours, so we'll be using time unit data dot hours, time unit data for hours, this one. Okay, so save. So yeah, save is working fine. Now we need to create these methods first. Okay, and this one. Great. Okay, so for the hour, what we will do is that let's just get the date first. We'll we'll get the hour start. Okay, when the hour start, let's just first check if it is set or not. If it is not equal to null, and let's get the difference between that hour and current hour. Okay, if it is less than one, then we know that we are within that window, right? So we'll do like chrono unit dot hours dot between, like this. Pass in dot get our window start, and now is less than one. If it's less than one, then we know that we are inside that. And same goes for the minute window. So return data dot get minute window start is not equal to null, and chrono unit dot minutes dot between data dot get minute window start now, like this, is less than 1, like this. Let me just fix the spelling here. Is within our window, like this, and this one too. Okay, fine. I messed it up. Come on. Okay, fine. Okay, and so now we are done with our is allowed, right? Yeah. So let's go back to our controller. Yeah. So if it's allowed, then we can say this. Then we should also say like how many time is remaining for that user. Okay. So let's go back to our uh, service, and we will create more methods here like time until reset, or maybe the remaining requests that they can do, right? So let's do that. Public int, so we can log it, right? Remaining requests like this for this client IP. Okay, let's use the Redis key again, equals Redis key prefix plus client IP, like this, and let's get the rate limit data equals, you reuse that same function, pass in the Redis key like this. If data equals to null, like this, so means that Redis does not have the data for this. Then if the Redis does not have data, then that means it's the fresh request, right? So we should say like you have the full quota available, so we'll just return the requests per minute, which are all the requests. And if it's also not that in the minute window, right, then again we should pass in all the requests. So we should have our, let's get the current date time, local date time dot now, like this, because it will be a new window. So if it is a new window like this, okay, pass in data and now, like this, then just return requests per minute, like this, if it's just a new window. And then let's just, otherwise if we are in that window, then we need to subtract that, right? So we'll do like requests per minute minus data dot get minute count, like this, and stop it from going beyond 0. Let's cap it mat.max 0 comma this, like this, so the minimum point is 0. So this is for the getting the remaining requests. Now we should have one more to get the time until reset of this restriction. So it will be public long get time until reset, like this, string client IP. Okay, and then again let's have the Redis key, let's have the data. I'll just copy these. We have the Redis key, we have the data, and data is null, then we are not returning the Redis per minute, we'll be returning the 0, because then you have the time, right? Then you have all the time. You don't need to wait when there is no data there. So let's get the time, current time equals local date time dot now. Okay, let's check if the minute count is already greater than the request per minute. Okay, if data dot get minute count is greater or equal to request per minute. Okay, because we already know that he has to wait, right? So we are not checking for that. This method will only be called when we know like we have to wait. So we'll say like local date time. Let's get the next minute first. Okay, we are getting the next uh, minute window start. So we are all because we know after this window start there is one more minute we have to wait for that. Okay, and then right then our current time minus that time, we'll know how much time is remaining for the next minute. Okay, so dot plus minutes 1, like this. This will give us the next minute, and we'll just do return chrono unit dot seconds dot between now and the next minute, like this. The same thing goes for the hour. Let's add that. This will be for the hour. Let me just select all of them. Hour, like this. Next hour, get hour plus hours 1, next hour. Okay, nice. So this is done. Okay, and else if it's not present in any one of them, then we can say like return 0. You have all the time. Okay, now inside our controller we can okay, so if it is not allowed, we can say like error rate limit exceeded, like this, and we can say like remaining requests remaining requests, right? It should be like a rate limit service dot get remaining requests, and let's pass in our client IP to this, like this, and we should have time until reset, like this. Rate limit service dot get time until reset, pass in our client IP. Okay, now yeah, now we should build that URL. So let's just use try catch. Okay, so in here, yeah, in here let's just use we'll be having the response back, right? So shorten URL response from our URL shorten service, we will call shorten URL, like this. Pass in our request and our client IP, like this. And when we have the response, we'll just do response entity dot okay, and then pass in the response. Great. Now let's create this. Fine. We don't need to validate it because it's already valid. Nice. Let's add a required args constructor and SLF4J for this. And we are going to use Redis template again. So let's inject that private final Redis template string object Redis template. Fine. And then we also need two mappings for our URL mappings and one for our click analytics. So take it as tables in the database, private final map, but the data that we are going to store we need to we need to create that first. So under our models, a right click, we can say like URL data like this, and then let's annotate it with data builder, no args constructor and all args constructor like this. Now we are going to save the URL, the original URL that the user gave like this, and the short code private string short code like this, and created at and expires at. Created at, and we are going to have expires at like this. And what else should we have? We should have a particular click count for that short code, because when the link is created, how many users have clicked through it, we need to note that one too. So let's add that private int click count, and we should have the created by who created it, so it will have the IP of the user created by like this. And if the link is active, because after expiry we are going to make the link inactive, so boolean is active like this. And then we should have some click events, like where are the click events coming from. So that would be the array, sorry, the list. So let's create another model for that, and let's name it as click event like this. And in here let's also add data at builder at no args constructor. So this will represent a table and another table and all args constructor like this. And we should have the timestamp when this click occurred, local date time stamp like this. And let's have the IP address and user agent from which browser it occurred, and we should have referer from where it came from, and country and city like this. Then back in our URL data, we will just create a list for this. We'll create a list of click events. These will be the click events for this short link. Nice. Now inside our URL shortener service, let's create the map of this, which will be like another table, which will map our short code with the URL data. So string URL data, and then let's name it as URL mappings new concurrent hash map like this. Let's have one more, but for the click events, okay, it will be a list of click events, right, for that particular shortcode. So click event like this. Uh, click analytics like this, and then new concurrent hash map. Fine. Let's get the, because now we have to create our short code if it's not present, and also we need to create that URL. So we need to have the base URL of our application, right, that we have already passed. So let's use that base URL, and the value is, yeah, let's just add all of them first. And we also have a shortcode length in our properties, and we had maximum generation attempts. So let's add that to maximum generation attempts like this, and we have a cache for our Redis entry. So private int, let's name it cache ttl minutes like this. So base URL, the value is coming from uh, tiny link base URL, and the shortcode length, the value will come from tiny link shortcode length, and we have a maximum generation attempts, this one, and we have cache ttl minutes. Let's add that. Nice. Now we have this in place here. Okay, now we are going to, if the user has not sent a custom alias, we are going to create our own short code from some characters. Let's add those characters. They are base 64 characters. Base 62 characters like this. Okay, so these characters are like this, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. And in the capital. Okay, now, yeah, and so these are our base 62 characters. From them, we will be choosing randomly at the positions and create our shortcode if the user has not sent it. So now let's do this. Yeah, now let's check the shortcode first. String shortcode equals, let's get it from the custom alias and check if it's present or not. If shortcode equals to null, or if the user has sent strings, then we can check that shortcode dot string. If the user has sent empty strings, then we will trim it and then check if it is empty or not. So shortcode will be generating our shortcode, generate unique shortcode like this. Else, uh, if the shortcode is present, let's have that shortcode equals shortcode dot trim like this if there's some spaces after the shortcode. And we should also check if the shortcode exists, right? Because the shortcode uh, should be unique. So if it exists, we will say like throw new illegal argument exception, right? Custom alias already exists like this, and then shortcode. Fine. Now this is fine. Let's just create this unique shortcode next. So hover on this, create method. Yeah, in here, for example, we are doing one pass and the shortcode exists because we are choosing it randomly, but it's not actual random. The values, because our shortcode length is something, right? Or what did we put? I think we put 6. Okay, so values can repeat. So yeah, we should have the maximum attempts to get the short code. So we are going to loop through the attempts. So int attempt equals 0, like this, attempt less than max generation attempts, and attempt plus plus like this. uh, get the code, will generate a random base 62 like this. Okay, and we'll check if a short code exists for this code. If it does not exist, then just return the code, otherwise uh, go on looping. Okay, so and if the loop is done and still a shortcode exists, then we know that there's some issue. So throw new runtime exception. You can say like fail to generate unique short code after how many attempts. Let's also mention that after max generation attempts like this. Yeah, so let's just create this generate random base 62 now. Okay, so over on this, fine. So we will be using string builder. So sp equals new string builder like this. Then we have a shortcode length, right? Then we will loop through that length and get the characters one by one. So I is less than shortcode length I plus plus like this. Let's get a random index. We'll be using thread local random because multiple threads can use this. So current dot next int, and let's get the values from the length. So from the 0 to the length of the base characters, it will give us an index like this, and then we will append it to our string builder, and we'll say it like dot car at like this, that index. Nice. And then I will just return sp dot to string. Okay, we also need to create this a short code exists, so let's create it. So it will just return URL mappings that we created, contains key, the code. That's it. Okay, now back to our shorten URL. Okay, so we have checked if it's present or not, else we are going to trim it. Fine. And then when we have the short code, yeah, let's just build our URL data. URL data equals, we'll be using the builder. Fine, and we'll say like dot, this is a builder pattern we created like this, dot build. It will create an object for us, so we are not going to do it the constructor way. So it will call the constructor inside our class anyways. But yeah, this one is better. So let's get the original URL. Let's get the short code. Let's get expires at. Expires at should be uh, it should be from the request, right? Request dot get expires at. We also need created at. It should be created at its current time. We need a created by, right? Created by is our client IP. Okay, we also need click count. It's just created, so click count will be 0, right? And it should be active because we just created it. And then the click events, we'll just keep it to empty array like this and build. Nice. Now we have created this. Now we have to save it in our DB, but in our case, we'll be saving it inside our map. So URL mappings dot put. Let's put the short code and then the URL data like this, and also add the click analytics. So put short code and new array list empty like this. Now we need to cache this URL. So next time when we call this, yeah, next time when we try to fetch the mapping, will hit that. So we'll hit our Redis. So we need to cache it first. Cache URL, cache URL, and we'll just pass in our short code and request dot get original URL like this. And let's just log now. Log dot info like this. Created short URL like this. Nice. Then we are going to pass in shortcode and our original URL. So logging is done. Now we need to return the response. Shorten response dot builder dot build like this. Fine. Now let us create this short URL. We haven't built the short URL, right? So we need to build that. So let's just call it like build short URL like this. Pass in our short code like this, and then pass in our short code inside the response, and then original URL will be from our request dot get original URL and dot created at which will come from URL data dot get created at, and we need expires at URL data dot get expires at. Now let's create these methods. First we will do the cache URL. So cache URL. Okay, we don't need these validations. We have already validated it. So yeah, fine. Now we'll be using Redis templates. So we have to use try catch if the Redis is available or not. Then exception E like this. If the Redis is not available, we'll just say like failed to cache URL for like this. Pass in our short code and the message of the error like this, and then in the try block we'll do because we are saving the key value pairs, and so we need to use the ops for value. This will give us an interface. On that we have these methods to set our data. So we will be using URL like this plus our short code. So we will check it later. This key URL and the short code should be present in our Redis. Mm, mm. Then our data that we're going to set, which is our object. So original URL, and for how long it should be cached. Let's pass in our cache TTL minutes. We have to say like this minutes. So time unit dot minutes like this. So after this is done, yeah, now we need to have this build. Clicking on this, that's it. Now yeah, the URLs can be like this, like in our case it should be localhost 8080 for example. Then it can be like this, or it can be like this ending with slash. So we need to remove that slash before creating the short URL. So we have to normalize it. So we'll say like string normalized base URL equals. Let's get the base URL and check if it ends with slash. If it does, then we will just remove that part. Substring 0 comma base URL dot length -1 like this. Otherwise, we'll just return the base URL. That's it. Now we have the normalized base URL, and then we can just return the normalized base URL. Okay, and then because our request mapping start with API, so slash API, and then it should be like short code like this. This will be the URL. So we have built the short URL. What's next? Okay, I think we are done. So click analytics. Okay, we haven't used them right now. So yeah, so now inside our controller here, yeah, we need to fix this too. So so yeah, while getting the shorten URL, we are going to have some errors. So if we have, for example, a legal argument exception, okay, so then we'll catch it and say like return response entity dot it will be a bad request, right? So bad request dot body. Let's create a map dot off, and we'll pass in the error as the key, and the value will be e dot get message like this. Otherwise, if we have some other exception, let's cache them, and we can say like return response entity dot status, pass in our status dot internal server error like this, and the body, inside the body, map dot off like this, and error internal should be inside string internal server error like this. Okay, so this is done. So our shorten is fine. Let's create the other one for the short code, because now the user will have our short URL and he will click on it. So yeah, so we need to have the mapping for that. So what we will do here is we'll create another mapping, get mapping for our short code. Short code will be sent as a path variable, so let's get it short code like this, and then public response entity will not be returning anything, so void like this. We'll say like redirect to URL like this, add path variable string short code, and then the request and response. Response we need because we need to add the header for our location, then it will redirect to the original URL. We have the response, and now let's get the client IP first. Client IP equals get client IP, pass in our request like this, and let's get the user agent. User agent from the header, from the get header, it will be like user hyphen agent like this. Let's add the referrer request dot get header and the referrer like this. Okay, yeah, Now we are going to get the original URL from our shortcode. So yeah, sometimes the mapping would not be present, so maybe we will get nothing. So let's use optional string like this, and original URL equals, we will be calling our URL shortener service, and we will create a method on that like get original URL like this shortcode, and we will check if original URL dot is present. If it is present, then we should record the click, right? Because we need to add those analytics for the clicks. So we'll call again our URL shortener service, and we just record click, pass in our shortcode and client IP, and we also have user agent and referrer like this. And then after we have done that, then we will just redirect to the original URL. Use our response dot set header. Okay, now location original URL dot get the value from the optional like this, and then we can say like return response entity dot status, because we found it. Then we could say dot found. This will have the status for 302 dot build, or if it's not present, we can say like return response entity dot not found dot build like this. Okay, now let's just create this get original URL. So clicking on this, okay, yeah, let's just get the mapping from our cache first. If it's present there, we'll say like cached URL equals get cached URL from our shortcode like this. We'll check if the cache URL is present or not. Okay, then if it's not equal to null, then we have the URL, right? We'll just return it. I will say like return dot optional dot off our cached URL like this. And if it's not present, if it's null, then we need to get it from the database, and in our case it is URL mappings map. So we'll get URL data equals URL mappings dot get shortcode like this. We'll check if the data is present or not. So URL data is not equal to null. And we should also check if it is active or not, right? And then we will only get it. So URL data dot is active. We won't check it in case of cached URL, because we will be only be caching the active URLs, the active mappings. So yeah, we have this. Then we will check if it's expired or not. But yeah, let's just first create this get cached URL, create method get cached URL. So in here we are going to do it like this. We again need Redis, so try catch and get the exception here. Okay, so if it's not present, then we'll just say a null, or maybe if there is some error like Redis is unavailable, then we'll get it from the database. So we need to return null like this. Otherwise, yeah, and also we should log it. Let's just log.1 fail to read cached URL for, let's mention that short code and get the message. Okay, we have this, and now let's just use our Redis template to get the data. So we already have ops for value, and we'll get, and our key was like this URL colon and then shortcode, if you remember. Okay, so this will return us an object. We need to cast it to string like this. Fine. So we are done with this. Yeah. Now after we have the URL and we are checking here, we should check in here if it is expired or not. So if is we will create this method. If it's expired, pass in our URL data because it has the entry for expired. And then if it is expired, we can say like URL data dot set active to false. So we're making it inactive. And then we'll just return optional dot empty because it was inactive. And then after this, yeah, we have, if it's not expired, what we will do, we will cache the URL now. So next time it will hit this, right? So we already created that method. So cache URL, pass in our shortcode and URL data dot get original URL like this, and we'll just return optional dot of our uh, URL data dot get original URL. This is the original URL. Fine. And still, if nothing matches, if there is no active mapping, we will just return optional dot empty like this. Okay. Now to create this is expired. So let's hover on this create method like this. We'll just return URL data dot let's get the expires at, let's check if it is not equal to null, and URL data dot and check if it's before our current time, get expires at dot is before local date time dot now like this. Okay, so we have our get original URL now. It was called in here. Yeah, now we need to add our record click for the analytics. So hover on this. Fine, we have the refer. Yeah, correct. So now URL data. Let's get the data from our mappings. URL mappings dot get for this shortcode. So this is like getting it from the database. So it's like a database call. So if URL data is not equal to null, and let's check if it is active. URL data dot is active. Then we are going to set the click count. We'll say dot set click count URL data dot get click count plus 1 like this. Then let's create click event. So it will be like click event equals, we'll be using the builder pattern. So yeah, so it will be like dot, let's get the timestamp, which is current time. And then we also had IP address, which is the client IP. And we have user agent, pass in our user agent, and then referrer, pass in our referrer. That's it. So we have a click event ready. Let's add it to our empty click analytics array that we created before. So click analytics dot get, let's get that short code and add this click event because it was empty previously, right, when we created this. And let's just add a for debugging purposes. So recorded click for short code like this and pass in our short code. Okay, so back to our controller. So we have recorded click. We also have set. I think we are done with our short code. Let's just run our application and check it. We have to enable this annotation processing. This is important in IntelliJ. So it has finished saving caches. Let me just stop it. Sometimes it gets stuck. Okay, it's not starting. Okay, okay, it started. Okay, we have an error. What is this? Uh, Base URL is not present, but we added it. So why? I think it was in service. In here. Okay, but it is coming, right? The value is coming. So why is it showing like this? Base URL. So maybe Spring is not able to load our application YAML. Let's just build a rebuild project. Okay, so maybe that was the issue. Okay, so yeah, and now let's run it from here. Let me just delete the configuration. Okay, now yeah, let's just run this main. Hopefully it will work now because the ID is able to get it. Again, the same thing. Let me use Maven. So right click on this Maven clean install like this. Okay, Maven clean. Form file does not exist. Okay, but it's saying like there are no Maven projects to display, so maybe that's the issue. Let's add the Maven project, but it should show like so this is a Maven project, so it's already source root, right? Right click. Mm, okay, let me just add the project like this. In our tiny link, we have backend. Select folder. Maybe it will load now. Okay, I think it should work now. It was ID issue, I think. So we don't need tests yet. Why? Builder Java requested build stop. But why? Because JUnit is not present, but it added this. Why did it add this? Let's just remove this. Delete. Run it again. Finish saving cache. We have our project here. Again, same error. Inside the resources here, maybe we should mark it as a resource root. You can see like even ChatGPT is not able to help me. So let me just remove this idea folder. So maybe there's some cache in our ID. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so in our desktop ideas, no, in our application, tiny link, and let's just remove this idea and also the target ourselves. Okay, and then let's just open this again. Uh, Go to desktop again, right click on tiny link. Maybe it's working for you, not for me. Uh, Open folder like this. Let's just check if it works now. Mm, we need to load the backend. Okay, we need to enable annotation processing for Lombok. Yeah, let's just run it now. We have the Maven. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think it's running. Yeah, correct. Okay, great. Now let's just open our Postman and let's just check this. So, hello, like this. Okay, we need to have a collection. Let's have a separate collection. Okay, yeah, let's just name it as tiny link like this. Fine. Let's add a request here. So first of all, we'll be needing post, and what do we have? We have HTTP localhost 8080. Then we will be calling shorten, if I remember it correctly. Uh, what did we have? We had URL shortener controller. This is the one, and mapping was shorten post mapping slash API. So it should have a slash API slash shorten like this, and then we need to pass in the body raw the JSON. So JSON should be like, okay, for example, we have the star.spring.io. Okay, so yeah, we will create the short link for this. So what do we need? We need original URL, custom alias, and expire set like this. Let's go to our Postman. Yeah, and then pass in our original URL like this, and it should be the URL that we copied. Okay, so star.spring.io like this. So this is our original URL, and the custom alias we will pass in as maybe like spring. Okay, and then we need to pass, it should have comma here. Okay, and then we need to pass our expire set like this. So we need it in the form of timestamp. We will do like 2026 and the year 07 and then 01 t, like let's keep it to 3 p.m, 3:30 or something. Okay, like this. Okay, so we have the body, we have this shorten. Okay, it's fine, let's call it sending request. Okay, it's fine. Now we have the short URL that we can hit. Let's copy this. Okay, if we just hit it directly, it should go there, right? uh yeah, we can directly call this. uh yeah, send. Okay, we have the, yeah, we have the response, and if we just copy this, it should redirect us to the star.spring.io. See, it is redirecting us. Nice. And let's check our Redis. if it has cached it. So inside our Redis, this is container. Let's go inside it, and then we go inside our exec. So I think it's like we need to call our Redis CLI and then get, then we can directly get our it. I think the key was like this URL, and the short code was Spring, I think, like this. Yeah, see, it's giving us the value for this. Okay, so yeah, it is stored in the Redis. So great, we are done with this. I think we also have one for the TTL. Uh, TTL like this. Okay, it tells us about the TTL, how much time it will stay in here. Okay, so that's about the Redis. Yeah, and now let's go at the stats for our application. So we'll create one more for the stats. So after short code, let's do add get mapping like this, and then slash stat slash for the short code. We need to get the count and other stuff, right? So public response entity question mark get URL stats like this, and the path variable will be our short code like this. Okay, yeah, now let's just get the stats response. We need to create that DTO. So right click on DTO, new Java class, we'll name it as URL uh, stats response like this, and then data, and then builder, and no args constructor, and all args constructor like this, private string shortcode like this, and we should have the original URL, private string original URL, and we should have the click count, private int click count, and created at and expires at local date time created at, and we should have expires at, and we should have is active or not, correct, and the created by like this. So this is for the response, and then next in our controller in here from the short code, let's just stop the server first. Yeah, okay, so let's do like optional. If it's present for that short code, others will get empty. So URL stats response like this, stats equals URL shortener service dot, let's create the method as get URL stats like this, pass in our short code. Okay, we'll check if stats dot is present. Okay, then we'll just return response entity dot. Okay, and let's get the stats dot get like this, else we will say like return response entity dot status. We'll say like not found if it's not present there, right? So not found like this dot body map dot of error. We'll say like short code not found like this. Yeah, nice. Now we need to create the URL stats. So yeah, okay, fine. Let's get the mapping. Let's get it from the mappings. Okay, URL data equals URL mappings dot get shortcode. We have the shortcode. Let's check if the URL data is present or not. URL data equals to null. If it's equals to null, then we'll just return optional dot empty like this. Otherwise, return optional dot off, and let's create the let's get the URL stats response. So URL stats response dot builder dot build like this. Let's get the shortcode. Pass in our shortcode original URL. URL data dot get original URL. Click count. URL data dot get click count, and we need created at expires at URL data dot get created at expires at URL data dot get expires at like this, and is active. URL data dot is active like this, and we need one created by. Created by will be URL data dot get created by like this. Okay, so record click, and then we have our get URL stats. So it's done. Now in our controller, it's working. So let me just start, and we can verify it. There should be short code not found. Yeah. Okay, we have clicked it only once, right? We called it from our short URL only once. So click count should be 1. So yeah, apart from that, we are going to create one for the analytics, which will tell us about the click analytics, like what was the IP that clicked it and the other stuff. Okay, so it started. Let's just test it. So what was it? It was API, and then we had API stats slash our short code was Spring like this. Okay, it's saying shortcode not found. Was it Spring? Shortcode Spring, API stats, Spring. Okay, because we restarted the application and we are using in memory, so we are not using the database, so that shortcode was deleted. So let's create the shortcode again like this. Now you'll have it, and then we can just call this. Okay, now now it's redirected to that. Now we should have one click count. So let's get the stats. Okay, click count is 1. Okay, so so if I just do it again, it will just keep on increasing the click count. Right, this is our this is our short link. Now the click count should be 2. Okay, click count is 2 and it's active. Expire will be at this time. Okay, so this is fine. Let's just have one more for our for our analytics. So so in here we can say like add get mapping analytics, and then pass in our short code like this, and then public response entity question mark, and get URL analytics like this at path variable. Pass in the short code in the path variable. Will again, this will be the analytics response. So let's just create that in our DTO. URL analytics response. have our data, have our builder, no aux constructor, at all aux constructor like this. Private string, let's get the short code like this. Okay, and we should have like a private original URL. Okay, and we should have total clicks like this, and we should have a created at and expires at, and we should have expires at, so expires at, and we should have a recent clicks. Okay, so we will sort them by time or by created at. So let's get the recent clicks for that short code. So it will be like list of click event like this, recent clicks like this, and then there should be like clicks by referrer, clicks by hour, and how many clicks by hour, how many clicks by day. So private list. So first we will add clicks by referrer, so string integer clicks by referrer like this. It should be uh, map like this, and then we need clicks by hour and clicks by day. So this should be clicks by hour and this should be clicks by day like this. So back to our controller, we'll say like optional of URL analytics response like this. We'll get it from our service URL shortener service dot. We'll create the method get URL analytics like this. Pass in our short code like this, and we'll check if analytics dot is present. We'll return response entity dot okay and analytics dot get like this. Else we'll say like return response entity dot status http status dot not found like this dot body. Okay, in the body we'll pass in our map dot off error, and then short code not found like this. Yeah, now let's create this URL analytics. So hover on this, create this method. Fine. So inside this, let's just first get the data from our URL mappings dot get, pass in our short code like this. Let's check if URL data equals to null. We'll just return optional dot empty like this. Okay, now let's just get the clicks. Okay, so we'll do like a list of click event. It will be like clicks equals to, we already have click analytics, right? So we'll get, or if it's not present, we'll get the empty. So for the short code, otherwise we'll get like array list, empty array list. Okay, so yeah, now let's have clicks by referrer. So we'll do like map integer clicks by referrer like this. We'll do like clicks dot stream. We'll use stream and then filter only the ones where a referrer is set. So we'll say like c dot get referrer is not equals to null like this, and then we'll collect them all, but we will use grouping. we'll do like collect. Okay, and then we'll use like collectors like this dot, we'll group them by grouping by, and then we will use our click event. We have click event but we need for the referrer, so it will group them by referrer, so the same referrer will be in one. And then so yeah, so it's like if we have multiple referrers, for example, uh, like this, if we have ref 1, ref 1, ref 2, ref 2. Okay, so there are multiple calls from the same referrer, so it will group them, these two, it will group it into only one entry and create the sum as 2 because it was twice. Okay, for this 2 it will create it as 2, so we need to create it like that, grouping by get referrer. And then we'll use the function here as collectors dot summing int, passing this like this, so it will just count per referrer. Great. And then we have to do the same thing by clicks by hour. So let's just copy this because it will be same. Okay, but here we'll say like clicks by hour. Will yeah, we will not filter. So yeah, let's just remove this. We only have a stream like this. Call our collect. Calling or collect, we'll be using grouping by again. Collectors dot grouping by. Okay, so yeah, let's use our lambda c dot, let's get the timestamp. Okay, we already have the timestamp, so get the hour from there. Okay, and yeah, let's also add a label like this. Okay, okay, so yeah, for the format our label, and then we'll just sum collectors dot summing int 1. Okay, it will just return us 1 and it will just keep on counting, and then yeah, done. Now we need to have clicks by day, so let's also do that. Copy this, clicks by day like this. Okay, so we have okay, we don't have get day, I think. Yeah, so it should have like grouping by, we have the timestamp, so let's just get to local date and then to string like this, right? Then we are just summing it, we don't need this concatenation here. Yeah, okay, so that's clicks by day, and we need recent clicks, so click event recent clicks like this, so we are going to stream over them. Clicks dot stream dot sorted like this, a comma b, this is used for sorting. Then we will get timestamp and we'll compare it with mm, the next timestamp. Okay, so now this is how we will sort it, and then yeah, then we will get the latest ones. Okay, so latest ones will come first, so it will be like in descending order for the recent clicks. Okay, now we will do like dot limit, let's keep it to 10 for the recent clicks, and then collect it with to list, or we can directly call to list like this. Yeah, okay, so we have the data. Now let's just create the response. So return optional dot off like this, and use URL analytics response dot build. Okay, now in here we'll be using shortcode first, pass in our shortcode original URL and get it from the URL data dot get original URL. We need total clicks. Okay, so URL data dot get click count like this. Let's have created at, I mean. So URL data dot get created at, and also have expires at. So URL data dot get expires at, and let's have the recent clicks. We already created recent clicks. We also should have clicks by a referrer. Let's have that, and clicks by hour, clicks by hour, and clicks by day, clicks by day, like this. And then we are just going to return this. Okay, I think we are done with this. Get URL analytics. Okay, let's just call this analytics shortcode. Hopefully our application has reloaded and we don't need to restart it. So what we will do here, it's showing like swap failed, so we need to restart the session. So we need to create that shortcode entry again. I wish now I had used the database, but anyways, we are done. So it's up, and now we can do it again. So let's create the link. Okay, let's just copy this. Okay, calling this. Let's again call this. So it's like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Okay, let's get the stats 4 times. And now, yeah, I think it was analytics, like analytics like this. Let's get it. Okay, we have the data. So IP address is this. This is the IPv6 for the local host. And then, yeah, we have the user agent. We have the referrer set to null. Yeah, okay, great. And we have clicks by referrer, clicks per hour. Okay, for the hour, because it's like 2 p.m. here, and clicks by day 4. So we have the analytics in here. Let's just do our delete mapping now. Delete mapping, and let's have our shortcode like this. Now public response entity question mark delete URL. Let's get that path variable. So path variable string shortcode like this, and now we will check like if it's deleted or not. Okay, from our URL shortener service, we'll create a method named delete URL like this and pass our shortcode to it, and then we will check if deleted like this. Then we'll just return response entity dot okay map dot off. Okay, let's pass in our message like this and say like URL deleted successfully like this. Okay, else we'll just return if it's not deleted, then we'll say like response entity dot status not found. Okay, not found, and then body we'll say like map dot off error, we'll say like shortcode not found like this. Now let's just create this method a delete URL. Okay, and we have a method here. Now we should have like URL data equals, let's get the URL mapping first, dot get shortcode like this, and let's check if the URL data is present or not. if it's not equal to null, then what we will do, so this means like it exists. So we'll just set is active to false, false like this. Okay, so we are marking it to is active. We have to use set active. Yeah, set active to false, and then we will delete the cache URL. Let's create a method for that. Delete cache URL for this short code. Yeah, then we will just log dot info like deleted URL like this, and then pass in our short code. Great. And then we'll just return true because it's been deleted. Otherwise, if this URL data is null, we'll just return false. Okay, let's just create this method for deletion. So hover on this create method, delete URL. Okay, and now inside this method we'll be using Redis template. So Redis template dot delete like this, and pass in our key. So short code like this, and then catch exception e like this. We can say like log dot one. Okay, fail to delete cached URL for this short code, right? So let's just pass in the short code, and also let's have the message. Okay, yeah. So shortcode and e dot get message like this. So this is for our delete cache URL, and then let's go back to where we were. Okay, we were here inside our delete URL. So this is fine, right? Uh, yeah, and now let's go back to our controller. Let me just close these. Yeah, so our delete URL is now working fine. So let's just test it. We need to restart, do we? I think maybe it did the upload, but yeah, let's just check. So in here, yeah, we already have Spring. Let's check that. Do we have that? Okay, we don't have that because the time, because uh, it's been maybe 30 minutes, and maybe 15 minutes, or maybe 30, like entered there, and it was removed from the Redis. So we need to cache it again. So for that, let's just call this again. So it's our URL was this. Copy this. Okay, localhost can't be found. We have some issue. Okay, let's just restart the server. Okay, I think DevTools is not working fine. Okay, it started, so let's just create that short link again. We have this, let's just copy this, and then here. Now it's going to here. Let's just do a couple of times. So it's like 4 times. Okay, let's get the analytics. We have the analytics. Let's check in our Redis. We have it in our Redis. Now we are going to delete it. So inside here, inside our tiny link, I will add a request. Okay, this will be a delete. for our delete, and we need API and then the shortcode like this. It will just delete this. Let's check. URL deleted successfully. Let's check in our Redis. Nil. Okay. So our delete is working fine. Mm, yeah. Now we need to have a, a scheduler which will periodically remove or deactivate expired URL entries. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Before doing that, we need to enable our scheduling. So we'll do like enable scheduling like this in our application, and then yeah, and then inside our config, let's create a scheduler which will be cleanup scheduler. So cleanup scheduler like this, and add component, so we so Spring can inject it, and add a required args constructor so we can inject, and SLO4j for logging. Now we'll be using our same service, private final uh, URL shortener service, URL shortener service like this. Let's get the value from properties, cleanup interval minutes like this, and get it like value dollar. We had cleanup interval minutes, this one, and then let's create a method which will be called public void cleanup expired URLs like this. Okay, this should be called at fixed time continuously. So we'll be using scheduled like this, and then pass fix delay string, fix rate string, fixed rate string, this one, and then first hash. This is how we get the value, and then inside this curly braces we'll do like dollar, and then again curly braces. Then we can have our uh, clean this what was it, it was interval minutes, right? Okay, we have interval minutes here. Okay, so we have interval minutes. uh, so what we will do here, as this just minutes, we need it in uh, milliseconds here, I think. So what we will do here is, after getting the value, we will multiply it by 60 to get the seconds, and then multiply it by 1000 like this. Okay, so it will load every uh, 5 minutes. I think we have kept the value here. Okay, and now yeah, now let us use try catch, because try catch exception e like this. Let's just log the error if there's some issue. Error during scheduled cleanup like this. Okay, log dot debug like this. It should show like running scheduled cleanup of expired URLs like this. Then we will call our URL shortener service and create a method there like cleanup expired URLs like this. Okay, we are already injecting it here, so we don't need it here, right? Yeah. Hmm. Let's just change this minutes to maybe 1 minute for testing purposes if it runs. Okay, now let's just create this method cleanup expired URLs. So in here, let's just get how many did we cleaned. Okay, so int Let's get the cleaned count that we clean, then we can log it. Okay, it will just be a counter. Then let's get the date today. Okay, local date time dot now. Now we are just going to loop through our URL mappings. So it's like looping in the URL mapping table. So we have map dot entry string URL data like this entry and URL mappings dot entry set like this. Okay, which will give us the keys and the values both. So now let's get the URL data. URL data equals entry dot get value. Okay, so we are looping through each one of them, getting the URL data. We will check if URL data dot get expires at is not equal to null, and URL data dot get expires at dot is before now current time, then and also if it's active, right? And URL data dot is active like this. Yeah, then we should use URL data dot set active like this to false like this, and we should delete our cache URL entry dot get key because we have it in the key, right? Yeah, so we have the shortcode in the key, and yeah, so delete cache, and we should just add to the counter. Okay, great. Now after the loop, we will check like if uh, cleaned count is greater than 0 like this, then we know like we have cleaned something, right? So log.info cleaned up expired URLs like this. So it will be like cleaned count like this. Yeah, that's fine. I think we are done with our scheduler. Yeah, let's just restart. Okay, so it started now. Is it? No. Okay. Yeah, now it started. So now we can just check if it's running. It should run after 1 minute, right? Okay. Okay, running scheduled cleanup. So it's running. So right now we don't have anything. So yeah, you can test it yourself. So yeah, so our backend is ready now. Great. And now we will move on to our front end. So let's start working on our front end now. So let me open my terminal, and in here we will write command ng version to check our Angular version. Please install Angular if you haven't done yet, and then let's create the project ng new front end like this. Select CSS, do no for SSR, and then none, and then it will install npm package. So let's just wait for it. Now it's done, and we can run our application. So go to front end first, right click on the front end folder, and then we will mark the directory as sources root. Okay, right now I have already done it. Yeah, but you should see an option here as sources root. And then it will turn blue. Okay, so now we will run our application. So go to package.json and in here we'll click on this start. If this is not visible for you, then you can run npm run start. Uh, but going to front end folder first in the terminal. So let's just click on it. This will start our Angular application. Let's just wait for it. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, this is our application, Angular application. Now, let's start building. Okay. Before doing anything, let's go to source and we have this style.css. Uh, I have already created a global style. We'll not be using CSS because this is a very small application. So just I'll be copying it. You will get the style in the GitHub repo, which I have added in the description. Then yeah, then we are going to go to app.config.ts like this. Okay, and we will be providing here HTTP client to deal with HTTP like this. Nice. Now we have our HTTP client in app.config.ts, and let's so our starting point is main.ts. It will have this app config, and then app.config.ts have all these providers that we're going to use, and then app.css we don't need it, so we'll be going to app.ts, and this let's keep it as standalone true, and then let's remove this style link because we are not going to need it. Okay, fine. Now inside our app.ts, yeah, let's just create some types first, which we are going to use. uh, we will have a response from backend, so we will call it a shorten response like this. So it will have short URL as string, and it will have a short code which will also be a string, and it will have original URL as a string, and then we are going to have created and expires at. Created at will be string, and if we have set expires at, then it will come as a string, or if we haven't set, then it will be null like this. Now, and then we should also have the URL stats that we are going to have. So type URL stats equals to, we'll have a short code like this, and then we are going to have original URL for that short code, and then click count will be a number like this. Created at, expires at, let us copy these. Okay, and then we should have active, if it's active or not, boolean, and then created by like this, it will be a string. Fine. So yeah, it's fine. Now what we are going to do is, yeah, let's just inject our HTTP client here. First of all, let's just remove this everything from app.html and just say like tiny link like this and see it in action. So yeah, we can see tiny link here. So it's working. So now in our app.ts, let's go there again and remove this title. Yeah, now let's inject our HTTP client, read only HTTP equals inject we are going to inject from Angular core uh, HTTP client from the common like this. We are also going to use reactive forms. So let's just remove this router outlet, okay, because we won't have any round tick here. And we are going to use common module import and reactive form modules. This one, these two we are going to use. Uh, okay, and okay, one second. Let me just add my prettier configuration. Prettier automatic prettier configuration. Is this should have HTML and JSON too, like this. Apply. Okay, I think it should work. Uh, it isn't. Okay, anyways. So yeah, we have reactive forms, but why it isn't? Because maybe I don't have prettier. Yeah, let's just do cd front end and do npm I prettier. I think globally it's not installed, so I'm installing it on my front end. And then let's try again. Let's do manual prettier configuration. Package will be this, which we just did. Run on reformat code action like this. Apply, we have TS here. Run on save. Okay, like this, it should work now. Okay, it's working. Now, yeah, now we have our HTTP. Let's use our form builder for reactive forms. Private read only like this, and then let's use form builder equals inject form builder. Yes. Now we have injected the form builder. So let's create the form. So protected read only form equals this dot form builder. It should be form builder dot let's create a form group, and inside we will have our controls. So first control will be original URL like this, and then let's keep the default value to empty, and then let's add the validations. So first validation that we need, that it should be required, and then second we need for the pattern, because if you remember it had a pattern. Pattern should okay, we keep it inside our regex like this, and then let's do casing. uh, yeah, now we'll do like HTTP S starts with H, S is optional, and then let's do some escaping like this, and then dot, and then anything after that like this. So yeah, this will work, and then we have our original URL validation. Now we should have our custom alias like this. Okay, and custom alias should have a default value of empty, and then let's have expires at with default value of empty too. Right, correct. So now we have this. We should have one more form for stats, because we need to know which shortcode stats we want, right? So read only. Let's have stats form like this. So we'll say like form builder, this dot form builder dot group, and this here we should have only shortcode as our form control. Default value empty, but validators dot require, it is required. Let's remove this. Yeah, like this. Okay. Now, yeah, let's also have some for the loading, some flags, protected, read only, loading equals, we'll be using signal false. Like this, we should have stats loading. That loading was for our main form. Now we have stats loading, and we should have one for the error, and we should have one for the stats error, like this. Yeah, but they are strings, so let's keep the default value to empty, like this. Yeah, now the result that we are going to have from both of them. So protected read only, then have the result from the main page, from the main form. So it should be like a shorten response or a null by default. Let's keep the default value as null. In the same way, we should have stats, and it will be URL stats, and by default null value, like this. Okay, so when we are going to submit the form, we will call our shorten URL, right? We'll call our method like this, whose return value should be nothing. So yeah, like this. Let's check if the form is valid. Okay, if we will check if this dot form dot invalid. If it is invalid, then we will mark the whole form as touched. So that way we will be able to show the errors to the user. You will see that in HTML. So mark all as touched, like this we can do, and then we should just return if the form is invalid, because we are not submitting that. Then let's get the value from the form. We say like this dot form dot get raw value, like this. Let's create the payload. Payload will be original a URL, like this. Let's get it from raw. If it's not present, then we can just add empty, like this. Okay, and then let's do a custom alias, and raw dot custom alias or null. So we can see that we have used question mark here, two question marks, and we have used or here. What's the difference is that if, for example, origin URL is like, yeah, if it's like empty, like this, okay, then it will keep it empty. The question mark will keep empty as empty. Okay, uh, uh, but or, yeah, yeah, but or will not. Okay, it will become null if we just keep it like this. If this is empty, then it will become null. Okay, but if this is empty, it will stay empty, like this. So that's the difference. Question mark, these two, they only care about null and undefined values. Okay, yeah, they this one care about the falsy values. So yeah, that's the difference. So now, yeah, now we have our custom alias. Let's also have expires at, like this. Let's get it expires at. If it is present, then we are going to change it to a local date time. We will create that ourselves, local date time, like this, and pass in our raw dot expires at. Otherwise, let's just keep null, like this. Okay, now yeah, now after creating the payload, let's set our loading to true, because we haven't set request yet. Let's set error to yeah, let's set error to empty, like this, and our result to null, like this. Okay. Now we are going to make an API request. So we'll call our HTTP and post method on that, and we should have shorten response as a result. So slash API slash shorten like this, and then pass in our payload as the body. Where's the payload? Okay, pass in the payload, and then we are going to subscribe to it like this. And then under the subscription, we are going to get next. So this is if it's successful, then we will get response like this. Otherwise, we are going to get error. Yeah, like this. So if we have error, we can do like this dot error dot set, and we will have the error like this from here. This dot error dot set dot error. Okay, so it can be inside this error dot error dot error. So if it is present, if it's not present, then we can say like failed to create short URL like this. Okay, so we can do that, and uh, let's set the loading to false like this because it's failed. Now when we get the response from the next, we'll set our result, this dot result dot set will set the response that we got. And then yeah, and then in the stats form, because we will have the shortcode, right? Let's patch our stats form and add that short value to that. So shortcode from the response, let's get the shortcode like this. Okay, and let's keep the loading to false like this. Okay, so we are done. Yeah, so we are done with this. Now let's just create this method. Okay, we have the value expires at, and we are going to return. Okay, so expires at, let's check the length first. If it's equal to 16, then we are going to set the value like this, uh, expires at, and let's add uh, 00 on to it. Okay, like this. Otherwise we are just going to return expires at like this. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so we are done with this. Yeah, let's have one for the load stats as well, because we will have that form too, right? So when we have submitted that form, we will create load stats like this, return as void. Then we will say like if this dot stats form dot invalid. If the form is invalid, just do this dot stats form dot mark all as touched like this, and just return like this. And we can do like const short code equals stats form dot get raw value if it's present. Let's get the shortcode directly because we only have one value there, or otherwise empty. Let's check stats loading dot set to true like this, and also stats, we have stats error, set it to empty, and let's have our stats should set to null. This is the result. Okay, now let's call http dot this will be a get request. We are going to have URL stats like this, and we are going to call slash API like this, and pass in our shortcode. like this. Let's subscribe to it like this, and we are going to have next with the response, and we're going to have error with the error like this. Okay, so when we have error, let's set our stats error. If we have that error like this, or we can just say uh, failed to fetch stats like this. Then we can do like stats loading dot set to false like this. And then in our next we can do like this dot stats dot set response like this, and stats loading dot set to false like this. Okay, great. So we are done with this, I think. Yeah, now let's just create our HTML. Yeah, so going to HTML. Yeah, let's just remove this. We should have a, m- a main element with class page like this. Okay, inside it we are going to have uh, section with class as card and with class as hero. And inside it we are going to have p tag with class as eyebrow, and then apart from it we are going to have an h1 like this. Let's just create these. So eyebrow we can say like tiny link or the p tag, and the end inside our h1 we can say like url shortening with expiry analytics and Redis backed caching like this. Okay, after this we should have another p tag with class as lead, and we should have one more div with class as explain like this. Inside that div we are going to have uh, two p tags like this. Yeah, let's just do that. So lead inside lead we will say like create short urls, open redirects, and inspect click analytics uh, from one screen. Okay, then inside our p tag, let's create one strong element like this, and we should say like rate limit request, correct. And then we should also say like counts how many API requests one client IP makes within a short time window like this. So we are just giving users some brief over our application. Now in here we can say like URL clicks like this. Okay, so let's keep that strong too like this. Okay, this will say like counts how many times a short link is opened and redirected, right? Like this. Yeah. So this will be the analytics number shown in the URL stats. Okay. Now let's create one more section. This will be our grid. So section dot grid like this, and inside it we are going to have an article with class card, and then inside it we are going to have h2. Okay, yeah, and then we are going to have our form. So let's create these. Inside h2 we can say like create short URL like this, and the form, let's remove the action and say, and let's add our form group that we created for this one. This is a form like this, and then on submitting we are going to use ng submit, and we will call our shorten URL like this. Now inside this form we are going to have label like this, and then yeah, and then inside that label let's have original URL, and then also let's put input inside that label like this, and we can say like form control name for that input like we created should be original URL like this, and the placeholder should be like anything like https example.com slash very long URL like this. Okay, let's create another label for our alias. Okay, and we'll say like custom alias, and then let's put our input field in there, and we can say like form control name equals custom alias, and then the placeholder should be like any optional code, right? Because it's optional. And then have one more label for expires at, right? So expires at like this. Let's have our input form control name should be expires at, and let's keep the type as date time local, this one. Great. Now we are going to use a button to submit our form. So button, its type should be submit. I think by default it is submit, but anyways, let's keep it disabled if we are still loading the form, like if we are still loading our request, and then or if the form is invalid like this. Okay, and let's add, if it's loading, we'll say like uh, creating when it's loading, and then otherwise we'll say like shorten URL like this. Great, so this is for the button, and if there is some error we can use our if tag. So if blocks, we can say like if error, then we can say p dot error, and let's have our error there like this. And then when we have the result, then yeah, then after result we can show like, because we will get a result from there, right? So result, let's have that as result like this. Then inside our div we'll be calling result, and then inside that we will have our p tag, and then inside that we will have strong and anchor like this, and under strong we can say like short URL, and then under ref we can add that short URL, yeah, which we can click, right? Okay, so this href should have, yeah, this, yeah. So result dot short URL like this, and then it should open on a new window. So target equals blank, and then let's add a row no refer like this. Okay, and then in here inside the title for that anchor we'll be using result dot short URL like this. Great. Let's keep it here and keep it here. Yeah, correct. Now after that p tag, we are going to use one more p tag. Inside it, we will have a strong. Okay, and then we will say like our short code like this, and then we can say, yeah, then we can say like our short code. Let's mention that result dot short code. Yeah, and the same way, let's also mention our created. Okay, so we can say like short code and then created like this. So it will be result dot created at like this. But there's a time, so let's use date, and then let's keep it to medium. Okay, uh, medium for the date format. Okay, yeah, let's also have one hint, or should we? Yeah, let's just keep it as it is. Yeah. So we have the article. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so this is how it looks like for our creating the short URL. Now let's create the stats form too, so we can test it. So under this article, let's use one more article with the class as card, and then we are going to have h2 inside it, and then we are going to have form, and then inside the form let's have our label like this. Okay, so h2 will be like get URL stats like this, uh, get URL stats, and then let's remove this action, okay, from the form, and add the form group here as okay, form group here should be our stats form, right, because it's a separate form. And then on ng submit, we're going to call our load stats, this one. Okay, and then we are going to have our labels. Okay, so inside the label we should have a short code which will come automatically when we load our this. Okay, so short code, let's have input, and then we have form control name as a short code like this, and the placeholder should be like maybe abc123 or something. Okay, so that's our label. Let's have our button for submitting, so type should be submit like this, disabled equals stats loading like this, or we can say like stats form dot invalid like this, then keep it disabled. And when stats loading, we can change it to loading like this, or let's keep the value as fetch stats like this. So if we have an error, then we can say maybe let's have a stats error, and then let's have p dot error like this, and let's mention that stats error like this. So if we have stats, then we can say like if stats as stats like this, then we can say like dot result. Inside our div we will have p, and we should have a strong like this. Okay, so yeah, let's just create that inside. Okay, it should be inside the p, so yeah, like this, inside p strong, yeah, like this. So it should have original URL. Okay, and if it yeah, we should say like stats, because stats will give us the original URL, right? Original URL for the stats, and we should have for the clicks, how many clicks happened. So clicks stats dot click count like this, and check if it is active like this. We should say stats dot active like this, and then we should have created by uh, but this will be true or false, so we should keep it like yes or no like this. Okay, and we should have one more for created by like this, and let's keep like stats dot created by like this. Yeah, yeah, I think we are done with our front end. Let's check it. Okay, we have the URL stats. Let's open our developer tools. Okay, there is no error. Yeah, there isn't. Okay, now let's have our URL. Let's copy my URL for the channel. Okay, it's a big URL, so this is fine. And let's just keep, oh, okay, let's just keep as shortcode as sha bytes. Like this expire set should be like 23. Let's call shorten URL and we have an error. Nice. So what is the error? Cannot post API shorten. Uh, because we didn't mention our backend URL. So inside our package.json, yeah, we should have one proxy config. So what we will do here is in the root of this, we can create new file and name it as proxy.conf.json like this. Yeah, and there we will do here is /API, and under API we can say like whatever we call, right from the API. The call should go to HTTP localhost 8080 like this, and then it should not be secured because we are using HTTP. And let's keep the change origin to true, and then let's also add a log level like this and set it to debug. Okay, yeah, so this is fine. Now inside our package.json, we were calling this start, right? So we should say like ng-serve and add proxy config. Okay, uh, and then add our proxy file, proxy config.json. Let's stop this start and let's run it again. Now it will start with our proxy config. Okay, great. Now let's just open this. Right. Now let's just copy this, paste it here, and optional code will be uh, sharp bytes. Let's add the URL and shorten the URL. Great, it's done, and we can see like short code is here. Now fetch stats, and we have the stats. Okay, so we have this link, right? We can try opening this. Let's try opening this again. You can see I have only 164 subscribers, so please subscribe. Okay, and then we should have 3 clicks. So okay, what's happening? It's saying shortcode not found. Let's create it again. We have only 1 click, and okay, fetch stat shows clicks 1 now. If we do it again, then it shows 2. Yeah, it's working fine. So yeah, that's it. Now now let's use Docker to package our application and run it directly. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. My ID is not okay. Yeah. Okay, now in here we are going to create our Docker files first. Now, first for our backend, let's create our Docker file. So it will be a multi-stage build for our Spring Boot application. So yeah, so under backend, let's click new Docker file. We have this. Then we can say like from Maven uh, 3.9.9 Eclipse, because we are trying to get the medium 17 Alpine, this one, as builder, like this. So we will have that. Let's add a work directory to /app in the Docker, and then we will copy our pom.xml there, pom.xml to that place, which means dot. Dot means current file, current directory. So now we will copy the source code, to there, but inside the source, right? And then we will run our command like maven clean package there. We will skip the tests because we don't have tests, so it will be faster. So maven mvn clean package skip tests, like, right, because we have already installed, right, maven there. Now yeah, now from now we will now this is a runtime stage. We will call from uh, eclipse to medium, eclipse Tamarin. It's actually Tamarin, not Temerium. So from 17, we are using 17 JRE Alpine. Okay. Uh, yeah, this one. We are going to use work directory, the app, the same one. And then, yeah, let's create a non-root user for this. We'll add run add group -s. It will, the group name is Spring, and let's add a user with the name Spring, and it belongs to the group of Spring, like this. Now we will copy the built-in jar from the builder stage that we created here. Okay, so so this is the builder stage. Okay, and this is the runtime stage. Okay, yeah, we can mention it like this. Hash runtime stage. Okay, fine. Now, I think, see, it already shows us this line, which means this stage is different. So yeah, so now, yeah, now after this, let's just copy from where, copy from a builder stage like this, /app/target dot jar like this to app.jar. Now after we have run package, we will have this target app.jar. We will copy it, this build jar from the builder stage to app.jar in our environment. Then we will change ownership down to our user that we created. Okay, for this app.jar, so we are able to run it. Okay, now let's switch to the user. Okay, so it's like logging to that user. So it's like user Spring, and let's expose our 8080 on which we are going to run it. Let's also add a health check. Okay, it will check every interval, should be like 30 seconds. And let's do timeout as 3 seconds. Yeah, okay, and then we should have timeout 3 seconds, and then the maybe the start period should be like started after some time, so we should maybe 5 seconds like this. And then let's do some retries. This is to see the health of our application. Okay, so retries is 3, and then we should have one more, and from this command we are going to get it. So deploy get no verbose to keep it short, and then yeah, and then we will do like tries equals 1, and then spider. We are going to use http localhost to check the health 80 like this, and aps slash health. I hope we have added actuator, did we? Yeah, because actuator it's needed thing or not. Yeah, let's just keep it like this. Then we'll check if we have some error. Okay, so after we have this health check, now yeah, then, or if it's not present, then just exit like this. Okay, and then let's have a command. So entry point Java, we'll be using this command java jar, and then our app.jar. So it's like java jar app.jar running our jar application. So this is our Docker file for backend. Let's have it similarly for our front end. So let's do that under front end. Let's create new file and Docker file like this. Okay, from node 20 alpine like this as builder. Let's use work directory as app, and let's copy our package.json to there. Okay, and then we'll run npm install like this, and then we'll copy our current everything to there. Okay, so we'll run npm run build there like this, and then from nginx we will have our nginx file. So we'll using nginx 1.27. So this is the runtime stage alpine like this, and then we will be copying our nginx file which we haven't created yet. So nginx file to etc there. There we will copy it to etc nginx configuration.t, and then default.config like this. Yeah, and then we'll copy what we built earlier from builder to app slash this slash tiny link like this, front end browser. From browser, if it creates it like that, okay. So yeah, maybe we need to run the build first. Yeah. So yeah, it's fine. So let's just have user slash share. It should be, I think, should be front end only. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we will check that later. So user share engines slash HTML. Like this, we are copying. We are going to copy our build from here, from our logo, from this to the application like this. So we are going to expose port 80 because it will run on port 80. Okay, we have this now. Yeah, now let's add our nginx config. So under front end, let's create a file, uh, nginx.conf, like this. So it should be like server, and it should, okay, it should listen to 80. Okay, and then let's keep the server name as localhost. Okay, let's keep the root as user share and nginx slash html. This is the root, and then we will have index file as index.html, so it will run it directly. Okay, let's have some location like this, and then try underscore files dollar URL dollar URI. It should be URI dollar URIs slash index dot html, like this. End it with comma. This should all end with yeah, I mean semicolon. Yeah, let's add them all with semicolon. Yeah. So so this is like listen for HTTP traffic on port 80 inside the container, and this will just accept request address to localhost. Okay, this is fine for a small setup, and then this is just the server static front end files. And then here we are saying use index.html as the default file. Okay, and then in here, okay, we are it means like first try to serve the exact file path. Okay, the files that are there, and then try the path as a directory. Uh, if neither exists, fall back to index.html. So it's like that. uh, yeah, this is important for single page applications. So we have this now. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, so let's check in our Docker file. We have this. Okay, we mentioned tiny link front end. Let's check our uh, angular.json to see what is the name. It should be front end. So yeah, our project is front end, so it should be front end. Yeah, not tiny link front end. Okay, now from the angular.json we are sure. Yeah, now let's create our docker compose file. So under the tiny link, yeah, let's create our docker compose. So file, will create docker compose dot yaml, like this. Okay, so let's have the version 3.9. Okay, now let's have the services. Okay, let's first use Redis. Okay, so image will be Redis 7 alpine, I think that's the image. Okay, so yeah, let's have the container name to uh, tiny link Redis like this, and let's have the port forwarding or port mapping to 6379 like this. And let's have another service for backend. uh, Build context should be inside our backend like this, inside our backend directory. And the let's have the container name to uh, tiny link backend like this. Let's have environment to, yeah, because you mentioned the environment, right? Spring data redis underscore host like this. It should be from the docker, because we are running a redis now from the docker dot internal like this. And the port spring data underscore redis underscore port should be 6379 like this. And the base URL, because we are keeping it like, so if we have like spring.data.redis.host, it will be like spring underscore data in here, so in the environment variables. So a tiny link underscore base underscore URL, if you remember, we use this base URL while creating our short URL. So it should be now http localhost. We are running it on 8080 anyways. So yeah, and now yeah, now let's add extra host. So these would be like host dot docker dot internal host hyphen gateway like this. This will map our host dot docker dot internal, so Linux Docker setups can resolve the host machine. So yeah, yeah. And now our backend depends on Redis, so we have to wait for the Redis to be up, then it will start the backend service. Okay, and yeah, then also have our port forwarding. So it would be like, let me just remove the spaces. Yeah, now our ports will be like 8080, 8080, local and environment. Okay. Now, yeah, now let's have our front end. Yeah. So from the context backend, it will get our Docker file, and from the yeah. Now from the front end, we'll do like build. Context is dot slash front end like this. Let's have the container name as tiny link front end like this, and it will depend on backend. Yeah, and then let's also expose ports as, because we already added 8082, right? If you remember, uh, inside our web config, we added this 8082. So yeah, we can show it on 8082. Then yeah, it's fine. Okay, this is done. Let's just run it now. Do we need something else? I don't know. Okay, we can directly run from here. I don't know if it will work because I had issues before. Let's do just cd dot dot and then docker compose up. Before that, we need to stop our server because our backend is running. Let's just stop both of these, and also our Redis is running, so we need to stop Redis too. Let's just delete this. Okay, yeah. So now let's just do docker compose up. Okay, it's trying to fetch the backend. Now loading front end. Let's just wait for it. Build success. It got the jar. Now it's running npm install. Npm install is done. Now it's copying. Build completed. Now it's loading nginx. Okay, we can see that front end is up, Redis is up, backend is also up. So backend is starting. Okay, great. Now we should have front end running on 8082, right? Uh, 8082. Okay, this is a front end. Let's try it again. Copy the link, paste it here. Sharp bytes like this. Okay, it's saying failed to create. Oh, come on. Why? So there's probably a typo or something. Let's go to front end and in our Docker file. Okay, we have alpine package.json build nginx configuration etc nginx conf.t default.config front-end browser. It's fine. Where's the issue? Uh, okay, okay, this should be default. Yeah, default dot config. Yeah, conf.t default dot config. And yeah, and I think inside our package.json, uh, yeah, this proxy config should only be for our Angular dev server. Uh, in Docker, Nginx must proxy slash API to the backend service. Okay, so that can be the issue too. So we can just keep one other like local. This will be for start local and this will be for the start like this. So next time we are running it locally, we will run start local instead. Okay, so this is fine. Yeah. So now let's go to our terminal and containers are already running. So let's just stop them. Okay, okay, now let's do Docker compose down. Okay, to remove the containers. Now we will do like Docker compose up hyphen hyphen build to build it again. Okay, hopefully it started now. We can see that it started, backend is started, front end also. Let's check if all of them are started inside our containers. Okay, we have a green light for all of them. Now let's check our browser again. Localhost 8082, fine. Let's copy this. Okay, now have sharp bytes like this, expire that, this and shorten URL. It's 405. I think maybe we not allowed. So I think it's because, oh, I forgot to create the proxy here inside our nginx. So yeah, so we have our server name index.html. We have one for the location for the try files, but we didn't set for the API. Okay, so so whenever the call, because it goes to nginx, it goes to the front end call, and we don't have anything for that. So whatever starts with slash API, okay, yeah. So let's edit like proxy underscore pass. It should go to our backend like this. Backend name will be backend like this. Yeah. So so now because of the Docker, okay, we should name it like this because this is our backend service, and then also let's keep the header proxy uh, set header to maybe host like this. Okay, and then we can also add our xreal IP. If you remember, we had that. So proxy set header x hyphen real hyphen IP to dollar remote. This will get the IP address dollar remote addr like this at the semicolon. Yeah, so this is fine. I think this will work now. It should. So let's open terminal again. Stop the containers. Okay, and we will do docker compose down, docker compose up, and build. We can see that it started. So hope there are no issues. So our containers are ready. Let's just refresh, copy this, and then sha bytes like this. Let me just remove this. Yeah, okay. Call our shorten URL. Okay, it's working now, finally. So let's just copy this and let's go to this link. Nice, it should show clicks 1. Let's go to it again. Clicks 2. Okay, this is working fine. Let's have one more. Okay, let's have a couple of them, right? Like we need one for this and we need one for this. Now it stopped because the rate limit exceeded, right? If you remember, we can do only 2 per minute. So this is like too many requests. So that is working too. Let's remove our custom alias and it should still show rate limit exceeded, right? Okay, so we have to wait for 1 minute. Yeah, anyways, it should have given me uh, so the next minute we should try it and it should give us uh, a random code for custom alias. That's what I was trying. So yeah, we are done with this. So please, if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one.